Hi, this is Miranda from My Scrappy Life. Welcome back to my channel. This is for How to Kill a Kit with Style, and these are 3 stamps that I turned into cut files. And so here's a little bit of a tutorial. I was talking and then I realized that I could not go to my Cricut and show it. So what I did was that I took some stamps from Stampin' Up. This is a particular one that I used. And I took some archival ink and find a really good one. That one's from close to my heart, but either way, it's not a big deal. And like here, I'm showing that that spot there needs a little bit more. So you need to really make sure that it's black before you put it down. I noticed that if you leave just a little bit, your Cricut or your Silhouette would pick it up and it would come off like it would try to cut it out from it. And so there's the stamp. So then what I did was that I took my phone and took a picture of it and then brought it onto my, here I am, I'm talking. So I'm trying to tell you how I did it. So what I did was that I brought it onto my phone, I took a picture of it, and then I brought it and saved it to the computer and turned it into a PNG, and that's what it turned into. And there's my cut file. And I do have the little pieces, and you'll see what I do with those as well. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but you can tell if you don't get a crisp cut from it, then it will do what it did there, and it'll leave like a little bit of a funky tight line. So I just cut it out. So pretty much I just turned everything into a PNG file, and then whatever I wanted my cut file, and there's the acorns that I did as well from this particular stamp. And there it is. I did the exact same thing. I stamped it down and then I just made up my sizes and I went from there. And pretty soon here you'll see that it'll switch right on over to my layout. And there you go. There's my cut file. And like I said, when I was working with this particular cut file, I did make sure that any pieces that I wanted to turn into the cut file, I made sure that I fixed it on my Cricut Design Space. Now every software is a little bit different, so your software for Silhouette may do it just a tad bit different, but I do know that it can be done. Now in the Cricut, you just have to click after you upload your PNG file into the software. You just physically just go into it and you just click on the spots that you want to be a cut file, and then it turns like a blue and white thing. And then you just go from there and you do what you need to do and you cut it out and call it a day. And so and that's what I did with the acorns too. So as you saw that I went into it's my How to Kill a Kit with Style, my Christmas in July kit that I made, and I'll link that particular kit down below in my description, so that if this is your first time watching, then you can go back and look at what I picked for my selection for this month. And this is the first layout for July here, and I'm just working on placing that. And while you're watching this, I do put down some clear gesso on this white piece of cardstock paper. And I just wanted to let you know that I covered the whole thing because I wanted to make sure that I have it covered completely, because you will see what I do with my mixed media, because I do mixed media. And here I am. I'm just taking the layers that I have and make some layers on my paper on the back of my photo. So this will wrap up my 2016 December daily. Or actually, it's not like a December daily, because I don't do December dailies. I do December document. So I went and I document the best stuff throughout the month, because I don't do stuff every day. I do stuff just throughout the month. So I call it more documenting the traditions that I have than December daily. And this will be the last one that I have that I got done. So all of my 2016 is done. So now going forward, all of my pictures that you'll see are 2017. So I took up this bubble wrap and I took up 2 distressed oxides. So one of them is called Faded Jeans and the other one is Evergreen evergreen summer. I'll link everything down below. And I took this bubble wrap and I just took the oxide and I placed it down on there, and then I made sure that everything was covered or not covered, because I did not do any fussy cutting or covering of the acorns because I wanted them to be just black and white. And here I am, I'm just cleaning up my mess. You know me, I gotta clean up. And so that's my mixed media. I love how this turned out. I think it looks amazing. And here I am, I'm just getting my balloon down. And the picture that I'm working with is, so in 2015, I took my kiddos back home to my mom and dad's for Christmas while we were stationed in Germany. But my husband had to stay back and work. So this one in 2016, my husband flew with the kids by himself for the first time. Normally, I'm always with him when the kids go with. But this was his first time when the kids went with and not without me. And he had a fun time. It was a little scary for him because he's not used to doing that. But for the most part, he did very well on this. So that's the picture. It's of them leaving Germany, where we were stationed at, to go back to Oklahoma. That's where his family's from. And so he had a 26-hour, by the time he got done, he was up for 26 hours when he got to his mom and dad's with this flight. So here I am, I'm placing down the acorns, and those sheets there that I have, I get them from iCraft. It's from Thermoweb, and it's called Sticky Dots. That whole sheet has tons of little dots on it. You place whatever you want down on it, it gets everything sticky. And then you pull it off and you place it down and they're good to go. I love these sheets. Like, I use these very sparingly throughout. And so there are the acorns. And I forgot one. So there's what the package looks like. I go right onto Thermoweb and get mine. I have yet to really find these in the store. But I will link, like I said, I'll link that and a couple of the other things that I've done down in the description below, just so that you can easily get to it. And then if I can find any of the products that I am using, I will let you know. So this particular kit is of the hit. I think they were either, let me get my kit quick. As I'm putting them down, they're all from the same one. Those are the Hip Kit exclusive kits. They came in their December daily that they do in November. The kit that they get in November, it is their exclusive one. So you would have to go onto their website and see if they still have that kit, because they don't sell their stuff individually. You have to get the kit. So there I am. I'm just placing all these little guys down, these snowmen and all of this stuff, because ultimately, this particular year, we actually got snow in 2016, which is pretty typical for Stuttgart. But a couple of the years that we were there, stationed there, we didn't get snow at all until like January, February instead of December. So it was exciting for the kiddos to go back and not have to deal with snow, because that's kind of what they're used to, especially my daughter. Because when we went over to Stuttgart for the first 3 years, she was just freshly 2, so she's only known what Georgia does, which is literally no snow at all. Like, it tries to, but it doesn't do anything. So when they went back to Oklahoma, they didn't get no snow or anything. It got cold. My husband complained about how it was cold, but I don't know about it. So here I am. I'm placing the little dots from these enamel dots and finishing out that little tassel in the hot air balloon. Now, I understand that the hot air balloon really doesn't portray an airplane, but I figured I wanted to do something just a tad bit different. One, I did not have an airplane, and two, I thought the airplane would look a little weird, where I thought that by the time this layout gets done and you'll see the still shots at the end, I think it turned out wonderful. So those 3 stars I do use. I promise you, I got them out and I use them at the end. You'll see me place them down once I get done. And I just make some little sentiments. And then this particular one is from Pink Fresh. Yeah, Pink Fresh. And it's called December Days. And I'm just placing little stickers here and there, taking some of the stars and whatnot. So make sure that you go through all of the 20 some of us that are doing this. I will link my unboxing for the month of July of the kit that I am using, and then in that particular YouTube process video, you will have all of the people that are linked to that. So my title is going to be called Flying High, and it pretty much is that they are flying high. I mean, they were up for, I think my husband was up for like 26 hours or something, like when I counted. Now, when I went back home to my family, I'm originally from North Dakota, and when I did that flight from Stuttgart to my mom and dad's in North Dakota, I was actually up for 31 hours. So I still beat them for the amount of hours that I was up with these 2 kiddos, but it actually turned out pretty, that we were fortunate enough to send one family back and we were able to stay back and do whatever we wanted to. So while my family, for the 2.5 weeks that were in the States, I hooked up on some Christmas markets and all that kind of stuff, and you will see those layouts coming up as well. So here I'm placing my journaling and my date, and the still shots are coming up, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!